Good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome. I'm your host and speaker, Archie, for understanding various profiles and Big 4 versus mid sized firms. Thank you for joining us today. And I would request everyone to please turn on your cameras. Let's have an interactive session. And so, please, it's requested that you guys turn on your cameras. And okay, so before starting the session, I would like to take a couple of minutes to tell you about Aspire. Aspire is one-stop solution for aspirants of various professional qualifications. We cater to aspirants of 7 courses, which are CA, CFA, CS, CMA, CPA, FRM, and ACCA. Aspire provides help to aspirants in 2 ways: information and services. Information on our website is curated in a way that helps students in a preparation in a holistic manner, from eligibility criteria to all about the course. The future opportunities available as well, teachers to be selected, the revision links from your YouTube that can be referred to study, and the mock papers that can be attempted are available on website. We have numerous blogs which help and provide guidance in your study planning as well in planning your revisions. Our other services include one on one mentorship. We have a team of 40 mentors who have passed the same journey with flying colors as yours. Our minimal charges on one mentorship ensures and provides guidance whether it is related to what career is best for you, how you should proceed with your career or studies, or how to deal with failure and disappointments. The second service we include is webinar and workshop programs. We conduct various webinars, as we are conducting one now, on key topics which are free of cost. Our workshops like the interview combo workshop happen periodically and are there to bridge the gap of knowledge and information. Our YouTube channel has all these webinars and workshops recorded and uploaded in case you miss them. As well as we are starting our podcast in the month of March, wherein you'll get various speakers talk about their journey and struggles they came across and how they overcome each of them to be successful. You can visit our website to know more about us. Speaking in various profiles and one second. Yeah. Speaking about understanding various profiles and Big 4's mid-sized firms, this is the 7th session of our series of 9 sessions where we will be preparing you in a wholesome manner to give your articleship interviews. The webinars are free of cost and will be conducted on Saturdays and Sundays at 12 o'clock. To stay updated, you can join using registration link as well as join WhatsApp group to get daily updates. Although the webinars are free of cost, in case you want to avail our after services such as CV reviewing, LinkedIn reviewing, access to our ebook which has plethora of questions from frequently asked HR questions, audit questions, tax questions, as well as the answers, along with what to study and how to study for interview, we will also try to help you get referrals in Big 6 firms. Along with our vast after services, certificate of participation will be given to those who avail our paid workshop for just 500. To avail the same, you can drop in a message or you can fill the form. And to ensure that we are assisting you the best way we can on the topic, we will hold a doubt session to answer your questions. Feel free to ask anything about the topic or share your problems and experience. We'll respond to your questions by the end of each guest session. I will be reading out your questions so that we can respond to them at the end of the presentation. So without any further delay, let me present you the expert for the session, Anand Maheshwari. Anand Maheshwari is an experienced chartered accountant and CFA aspirant currently working with the strategy and transaction team at EY India. Specialized in deal advisory and financial due diligence engagements, assisting private equity firms and strategic corporates in their proposed M&A deal/fund raise primarily in the financial services sector. My bad. He's also pursuing chartered financial analyst course and with primary focus on portfolio management. He is proficient in MS Excel, Google Sheets, SAP, and S&P Capital IQ VCC.
Thanks. Thank you for the warm introduction. Basically, the workshop is on how we can get some idea insight about profiles at Big 4 and mid-size firm. And I would like to first start with a little bit about myself, how I can, put more emphasis, put more light on these topics, because I've spent time in Big Four, like around 4 years in Big Four, and at the same time, I've done my articleship from mid-size firm. Then again, I worked with the mid-size firm post qualification also. So have a varied experience of mid-sized firm as well as Big Four, and I know, how things work in either case. So that's the reason I think I thought of interacting with you guys and sharing my experience. Uh, in each of the case, like what to expect in a Big Four firm, and what to expect in a mid-sized firm. So there are two scenarios here. One is like you can think of these profiles post qualification as CA, and second is you can think about these firms as an articleship opportunity. So just wanted to know, like what participant we have here. Like are you guys into the CA interstage, or at like have qualified and looking for a job as a CA? So just want a little bit of response for you guys, like from what perspective you want me to cover this. I largely understand it's from articleship perspective, but still want to come from. Mega says CA inter, right? So articleship perspective. Anyone? I think that resembles the large population here. So, talk about the opportunities from articleship perspective only then. In Big Four, I've worked with EY only, and I'm not worked with any other Big Four. But largely, I understand Big Fours usually uh, uh, hire articles in their assurance department, which is nothing but your statutory audit. Nishika is there. She also had worked with KPMG Assurance, so even she can, share her inputs on this. But largely, I have seen Big Fours primarily hires in statutory audit slash assurance, while they have lot of other services domains. But I don't know, but due to some of their strategic planning, they only hire articles for stat audit largely. Having said that, they do hire articles in internal audit as well, which is also known as risk advisory or consulting. And in very few instances, or very rarely, you will find anyone, any CA inter post, clearing inter, have joined any Big Four or Big Six firm in for articleship for profile other than statutory audit or internal audit. So I have at least not came across anyone working in any particular service line apart from these two. So largely, if you are planning to join any Big Four or Big Six firm, you would probably end up finding opportunity in stat audit only, very in a very large quantum, while you may find something in internal audit also. So that is something which you can think of it in order to prepare for the same. So for statutory audit, usually one should have good knowledge about the financial statements, accounting, then company law, auditing standards, accounting standards, all of this. So if you think you have good knowledge about it, and at the same time you are interested into it, and if you want to actually do the audit the way it is written in the audit textbook, then you can think of applying to Big Fours, getting into those, right? Now coming back to the moving to the mid-size firm articleship, where even I did my articleship from mid-size firm. So in mid-size firm, usually okay, let me also carry along with the slides here, so it will be helpful. So as you could see, there are various profiles: auditing, due diligence, tax advisory, stock audit, investment banking. But as I mentioned earlier, the largely they will be hiring in auditing only. Due diligence, compliance audit, they will not. Tax advisory, very rarely they might hire. Stock audit verification, again, I think it's part of auditing, so it's covered inside that. Investment banking, no chance. I don't think Big Fours will hire in investment banking. Now you must be wondering ki why is it that. So I will tell you the reason why is it that, why they don't hire. But moving ahead, I'm sure a lot of you, I think most of you or all of you have heard about what all are the Big Fours. Fours, it's Deloitte, EY, PwC, KPMG. When it comes to global scenario, Deloitte leads the Big Four ranking, while with when we compare it with its revenue. While when it comes to India scenario, EY leads the ranking here when it comes to the revenue. So as far as I'm sure, you must be thinking about India only. So EY is the leader in the Big Four space. Moving ahead, if you could move to the next one, next slide. There is this difference between Big Four and mid-size firm. Uh, Big Four will give and get Big Four. In Big Four, we will get an exposure to specified areas like auditing, taxation, which we choose. Your role is much more specialized at Big Four firms, right? So in Big Four, you would then further move in smaller teams, like a team which is auditing any uh, financial services companies like NBFCs or banks, or a team which is auditing IT companies like TCS or Infosys. So there will be this further breakup when you get into Big Four. So you will end up doing your articleship only auditing the sectoral companies. Like you will end up auditing, say, IT companies only. So that way you get specialized in that particular domain. Moving ahead with the mid-size thing, which I wanted to explain. So in mid-size firm, they hire across all the profiles which they offer. So it's not limited to statutory audit or internal audit, but you will find in mid-size firm they are also hiring in GST, which is ITT, then taxation, when the direct tax, income tax, then internal audit, stat audit, of course. Apart from that, there are project financing related services. Even there, they do get interns or articles hired. Uh, Even there is a chance that you will get an exposure of all these areas in your articleship tenure. So they, I mean, some of the firms don't even have such breakup. Okay, this is the team for this is the team for internal audit, and the members in this team cannot do a different work. So there is just a single pool of people who can cater to the requirement as when it comes up. So you can work on stat audit at the same time. If there is more pressure in taxation side, you can help them in tax work also. So in mid-size firm, there is no um, there is no specialization at such in most of them. While some of them who are at very good stage, like we can say upper mid-size level firms, they do have some department sections, but mostly you can say that there is the pool of team, and can used according to the requirement of the practice. So, as mentioned, in mid-size firm, we will get an overall exposure. You do not generally specialize in any particular area. So that's the thing which we can sum up here. Uh, Again, if you can move to the next one, please. Right. So it's like open forum, of course, because basically I've covered the main few points, like what all are the available options in Big Four and as well as in mid-sized firm. Now the question is why is that, like why Big Fours do not hire uh, articles in different domain which they have. So it is basically because they have large chunk of employees already, and for them article or intern is someone who is assisting other seniors in their work. So largely the statutory audit requires a lot of ground level work, a lot of verification of documents and stuff like that. In common parlance, we call it vouching and all, where it's pretty much. They can expect that this work should be done by someone who is a student or who is pursuing chartered accountancy, and not from someone who is qualified. So that is why statutory audit is the uh, space where they hire interns and articles more, because it involves a lot of granular work compared to others. So I'm into M&A consulting. It does not involve a lot of groundwork as such. It involves you know uh, generating insights from the data, and then interaction with management and all, where they think that someone who is qualified, who has overall knowledge about it, has some experience, can do better, can do justice to that role than someone who is basically student in its current phase. So that's the reason they usually prefer qualified people in other domains, while they prefer articles in this particular few domains only because of the granular work involved. And at the same time, they do not have they do not have uh, they are never out of demand. Like people keep on applying, like qualified people keep on applying. So they feel that if I'm getting a good amount of talent who can do the work in a better way, who is more expert in doing it, so that's why they hire a lot of qualified people. While the limitation in mid-sized firm is that they do not have that demand, right? So they will not get n number of resumes or applications. So they will have to scout people, they will have to onboard them. So that is the reason they they are short of resources, and that's why they get the things done from articles who are hired. So that's the basic uh, reasoning behind why is this, why Big Four hires in start audit only, and why in mid-sized firm article gets exposure to all the areas. So in big size in mid-sized firm, you would get a little less complicated role, less complicated assignment, while in Big Four you get quite complicated assignments, so where it gets difficult to get it done from article or intern, while it's pretty much doable in mid-sized firm from article and intern. So after say spending couple of years, article in mid-sized firm can pretty much handle the assignments there. And now I personally have felt the same. I have done my articleship from mid-sized firm, and then I worked with EVA in their assurance services, and then I had articles working with me. I mean, below me basically, and I then compared how they, what experience they are having and what experience I had in my articleship, and the difference which I observed is what I've just put in front of you. Okay? This is how that difference in these two domains, I mean the categories of firms. So that's something, from insights perspective, ki, why there's this gap and why hiring is in such a way, and also a little bit about how the work is done in Big Four and mid-size firm. While there is a lot to share, but I would definitely like to have any specific question if you guys have on this particular topic. You guys
I
can
have
also,
one question.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I think, don't you think that big fours are a little overrated? Because interns will get to learn a lot in a mid-size firm, according to me. Because usually in the startups they give more attention to the employees, and like if you see TCS and Infosys, like I'm talking about the engineering field, so they don't give too much perks and benefits and attention to the employees. But whereas will you when you work in a startup or some mid-sized firm, they are very employee centric and they give so much attention to the employees. So doesn't it same goes with the articleship? Like for a trainee it will be best to learn more.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually, see, anyway, in my uh, discussion earlier, I did not say that this is better or that is better. So there is, of course, uh, goods and bads about both of these, advantages, disadvantages of both of these. So one when you mentioned is, of course, a disadvantage at Big Four and advantage at mid-size firm. Very fundamental limitation is, if someone is looking for articleship in a tier 2 or tier 3 city, I mean, from his hometown, her or his or her. So the Big Four presence is not there. It's there in some 8 to 10 cities of India. So uh, even because of that, you will not be able to apply to Big Four. So you need to move to the city where Big Four is there.
Yes, so
So that's the
exactly. Like
first.
I'm from Madhya Pradesh and there is no like big four एक भी नहीं है in not even in Indore and Bhopal. So like
Hmm.
MP वाले तो जाते ही हैं बाहर and otherwise they go to small firms.
Right, right, right. So what I have seen over the years is, you know, you will not realize during your articleship maybe, but when you will qualify as a chartered accountant, then if you have not done articleship from Big Four, and then you think of applying to corporate roles, applying, and then you think of working with Big Fours, or anything a little bit fancy, and then moving to some metros. At that time definitely you will think of it कि यार मैंने बिग फोर से आर्टिकलशिप करना चाहिए था. So that's the thing. If you think tomorrow, I mean tomorrow as in post qualification, if you are going to if you are going out and going to work with big brands, there whatever it is, like 3 years may, if you feel that your employer, I mean your principal is not very connected with you, you did not get overall exposure, whatever. But if tomorrow you want to do something with big brands, then this will definitely help you. uh, and I will share my own experience. I struggled because of the same. I did my articleship from tier 2 city Nasik, and I then moved. I mean, moved to Mumbai for finding opportunities. Even I found that challenge, and because of that, I had to settle with joining a mid-sized firm and get audit experience out there. And then I thought, now, I mean, I was applying, and then I was able to take a switch to EY, which is a Big Four. So for me also that challenge was there, and I felt the same. So you guys, if you think, what is your long term plan, I mean post qualification तुम्हारा क्या plan है, based on that you can make a decision today. I would definitely advise you to, if not even if you do not get selected, but at least apply. Please do that, get into interview process, and if you get selected, definitely try this. One bad thing about working in mid-sized firm is you get a work which is even not related to article stuff, or uh, CA in general. So that is definitely, that does not happen for sure in Big Fours. You get very much relevant work to your profile. While I have seen, not in mid-sized firm, but even a smaller size firm, I have seen, the principal is giving a work which is not even relevant to CL learnings. So that's something is get is definitely, which gets eliminated. While of course the stipend deviation is there. A Big Fours will pay you a quite high stipend compared to the stipend which you get in mid-sized firm. So if moving to a metro city is getting compensated with high stipend, then you can think of it. So we can, list down n number of uh, disadvantages, advantages in these two. A lot of good things about mid-size firm also. A lot of disadvantage of working in mid-size firm. But I would be happy to answer specific questions like you asked. If anyone else also have any specific question in this too, I would like to take that on. You guys can
Um,
also,
so
chat.
yes, that
Yeah,
I wanted to add on that, yeah, there are advantages and disadvantages, but I truly agree with you that obviously working in a big four adds a brand value to your profile, and obviously a brand and a tagline like helps you in your career in a better way. Like, so yeah, and
yeah.
it even boosts up your confidence also. So yeah, I guess doing articleship and internship in a big four is much better, despite of its disadvantages and advantages. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's I would still not say it's much better. It's not like that. You will definitely have a screwed up work life balance if you join Big Four. While if you prefer, preparing well for your C examination, the final examination which will be due, so which is more important than the work exposure. uh, so you will have to be considerate about that also कि तुम्हें time किस में ज़्यादा spend करना है. So if you join mid-sized firm, and if that mid-sized firm is assuring you more time at home and to prepare for your exams, and I feel personally that the ultimate goal should be your CA final exam, because that is something which defines your career. So you can, think from joining mid-sized firm also. But so from it's very challenge. It's very complex and tricky situation. If you, want to prepare really well for CA final examination, you should not consider joining Big Fours. And if you join, you should be ready to, put that extra efforts to get your studies done along with the, work which you have, which is quite too much. And if you want to think beyond your exam and your career, your, life as a professional, then you should sacrifice today's comfort, join Big Four, get yourself, ready, industry ready, and you will be very much, ready to, uh, you know, I mean, you will have an advantage when you will qualify. So it's all about that. It's very tricky, and at the same time, what you can do is you can do your articleship initially from uh, it's a normal firm, it's mid-sized firm, and then can take transfer to Big Fours, and then can do industrial training as well. So I have done that. So I have done transfer. I've worked with the Crystal Limited also as an associate, like industrial training. So I usually prefer working the situation and learning more. I've done a lot of job changes till now, and I believe I will keep on doing that in future also. So that works for me. What might work for you, I don't know, but I think, you know uh, taking transfer is a very good thing which you I would not suggest that कि आप सबने लेना ही चाहिए, but it's something which I would definitely recommend if you do not find that this experience is not of, not much worth of it. So you can think of taking transfer, and transfers between say mid-size to Big Four to mid-size, anything might work, and then do this industrial training in last year. So you will get a good combination of experience. Yes. Any other questions? think there are no questions. I think anyone already working with any firm? I think no one. All right. So, should we wrap up this session?
So I had a question, but it's not related to CA. Okay, sir. First, you can answer Megha's question: How to prepare for interview in Big Fours?
Uh, so
Actually, I also have that question. I'm not from CA background, but yeah, I'm hoping to apply in Big Fours. So, how do one prepare one ourselves for Big Fours interviews? Because we are not like, as myself, I'm not from CA background, but obviously I'm trying to opt for finance and accounting profile. So, how do we crack the
mhm.
interview?
Right. So you had the same question, like how do we crack the
Yeah,
interview? And,
yeah.
okay, okay. So it's quite it has a very simple answer as well as it has very detailed answer also. So simple, I would say, if you are getting interviewed in statutory audit related profile, maybe it will not be applicable to you. But in case of Mega, if she is from CA background, so if you are getting getting interviewed for statutory audit, then you should prepare for company accounts, financial reporting, whatever you learn in your inters, curriculum, specifically in financial reporting, accounts, auditing, and some part of tax. So I think you should revisit these books. Some key things in it. Largely, the interviewer asks you questions on how you would audit something. So there is one chapter in the auditing book where it is mentioned how how to audit each of. I think the whole audit book is around that thing only. How do you audit this thing in this particular company, and I mean the type of company, and it's very detailed discussion in there in audit book. So I would definitely recommend you to at least read what is mentioned in audits book, and then also revisit your concepts about accounting. A lot of questions on accounting side also asked. Also, they have some aptitude test, which of course test your logical skills. I mean, how you would answer logical questions. So all these things get tested during the Big 4 interview. They at times they do have GD also, group discussion. So you must also perform well in discussions, and which usually the topics is about the topics is of something happening currently. So in today's time, most of, I mean, all of you would be aware what has happened with Adani Group. So you must keep yourself updated about the some you know current affairs around that time, and should prepare if JD happens. So that's something which I think you should take care when it comes to uh, statutory audit interview. And yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, can be very specific things also key in accounting also, what you should read, or what you should cover. But of course, we'll definitely connect separately if someone wants to have such detailed discussion on how to prepare for the interview. Yes.
Any other
Think-
question?
you have any other question, Archie?
No, sir.
Great, great. No, but I think even if you guys have anything else to ask, you guys can reach out to me. Even Archie, you can reach out to me later on.
Yes, thank you
You
so much, sir.
have spent good amount of time in is no response from
Yeah, I
big fours and all
yes,
consulting firms also, and mid-sized firm also. So I very well know how it
yes,
happens. What
I've currently applied for summer internship in all the big four. So let's hope.
even how you apply, a lot of people they tell that they have applied but there is no response from
Yeah,
big four.
I've applied through LinkedIn, so I don't know if they'll even see my text or not.
Sorry.
I've applied through LinkedIn, so I don't even know that if they'll, go through
uh,
my messages or not. So I've just applied them.
the problem with big four or any company
Hmm.
which is quite hot favorite for employment or internship is that they get so much of so many applications,
Yeah, the competition is very, very high.
and it is quite obvious from their side that they might miss out on some applications because it's not really possible. And what has happened these days, I will tell you one insight here is before COVID, the interviews used to happen in person largely, and
Yeah,
then the applicant used to think even if I'm applying, but if I'm not able to attend any interview in person, so someone, suppose you are from MP and you are applying for say EY Gurgaon,
yeah,
today you can very well do that because you know that the interview will happen virtually, right? But
exactly. Yes, sir.
3 4 2 3 years back, what used to happen that the applicant used to think, okay, why should I even apply when I'm not able, I will not be going and moving for I mean moving to
Yeah, like
आगे की
you'll be
बात है
posted
even
for
interview.
just an interview. I get that. And
Yeah.
that too for a summer internship.
Yeah,
Yes.
so what used to happen, even if they shortlist, they would ask you to come to their office,
Relocate. Yeah.
and you would be like, yeah, okay, I will not. I mean, relocation is the later part
Okay.
of I mean, once you selected, but even for interview, I'm saying
Hmm.
that you would be asked to visit that place,
Hmm.
which usually someone who is in no mood to go out of his or her town will not even try applying. But what happens today that people know ki, I mean, that philosophy is there ki chalo interview to de dete hain. So because of that, the applications which they receive has increased exponentially, कि किसी को इंटेंट भी नहीं है एक्चुअल में मूव आउट करना, but even he or she is applying, and that's the reason the number of applications have increased. So even I get a lot of uh, uh, people reaching out to me, and they ask me whether the opportunity will be work from home or something. So I get it that this applicant is in no mood to move out. So but it's just that it's like the interview experience they want to have, they will apply, and because of that the number of applications gets increased, and because of that someone who is genuinely trying will
Yes.
get crowded out. So that's the scenario these days, but can't really help, actually. That is how it is. Hmm. All right, I think uh, we can
Yes.
then wrap up if there are no questions, and if anyone has any question and want to have detailed discussion, they can book uh, mentorship or guidance session with Aspire, and I will be able to
Yes.
connect with them separately on one-on-one. So
Thank
that's
you.
that's pretty much.
Thank you so much, Anand sir, for this wonderful session. And thank you so much for this informative and wonderful session. And to for everyone else to avail our after services such as CV reviewing, LinkedIn reviewing, access to our ebook, which has a plethora of questions from frequently asked HR questions and audit questions.